Gentlemen, if you're struggling with an enlarged prostate, this could change everything. Right now, I'm revealing a simple grocery store nut that starts shrinking prostate tissue in record time. No prescriptions, no surgeries, just nature's powerful solution hiding in plain sight. And I'll bet your doctor never mentioned it. I'm Dr. Katherine Rotker, a geriatrician and men's health specialist. For 25 years, I've helped thousands of patients like you reclaim their lives from prostate misery. The sleepless nights racing to the bathroom, that frustrating weak stream, the quiet anxiety wondering, is this cancer? It chips away at your confidence and freedom daily. Decades of rigorous science prove specific nuts fight prostate enlargement. They slash inflammation, boost urinary flow, and even reignite sexual vitality. Yet most men over 60 never hear this, trapped thinking drugs or procedures are their only hope. Today, I'm giving you 5 potent, science-backed nuts that actively shrink your prostate. You'll get exact amounts, timing, and simple ways to use them. Stick with me, and I'll show you how to prepare one critical nut to accelerate results faster than you thought possible. This could be your prostate's breakthrough moment. If you're 60 plus and want natural prostate solutions, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Drop a yes below if this resonates, or NO if we missed something. I read every comment. Now, let's dive into nut number 1, my top clinical recommendation for nearly every patient. It's humble, accessible, and packs peer-reviewed proof. Meet your prostate's new ally, the cashew. Cashews aren't just tasty snacks. They're a clinically backed tool I recommend to nearly every patient dealing with prostate swelling. One of my patients, Alan, a 67-year-old retired teacher, came to me frustrated after months of interrupted sleep due to constant bathroom trips, a weak urine stream, and a nagging worry that something more serious might be brewing. He had already tried prescription medications, but the side effects, fatigue, and dizziness left him feeling worse than before. When we shifted his focus toward nutritional strategies, cashews became part of his daily plan, and it marked a real turning point. Cashews are not just a snack passed down through folk wisdom. Their benefits are grounded in decades of clinical observation and nutritional science. Researchers have consistently found that compounds in nuts like cashews actively target the processes that drive prostate enlargement, making them a legitimate and evidence-backed option. Cashews are rich in monounsaturated fats, protein, magnesium, zinc, iron, vitamin E, and phytosterols. Each of these plays a distinct role. Magnesium relaxes tense muscles in your prostate and bladder, easing urinary urgency. It also helps your body produce testosterone efficiently, a hormone that declines with age, but remains vital for energy and sexual health. Zinc acts like a fire extinguisher for prostate inflammation. It calms immune cells that trigger swelling and directly supports sperm quality and hormone balance. On top of that, cashew-derived phytosterols, particularly beta-sitosterol, block the hormone DHT, the main driver of prostate growth. Think of it as putting brakes on unwanted cell multiplication. Most men who use cashews notice improvements within 2 to 4 weeks of regular consumption. Benefits include fewer nighttime bathroom trips, a stronger stream, reduced urgency, and in some cases, improved sexual confidence. Alan, my retired teacher patient, committed to his daily cashews and simple routine tweaks. Within a month, he began reporting deeper, uninterrupted sleep and less anxiety, which not only improved his energy during the day, but also gave him reassurance that his body was healing in a safe and natural way. Cashews work best when eaten in moderation and in their least processed form. I usually recommend 1 ounce per day, which equals about 16 to 18 nuts. Choose raw or lightly roasted, unsalted cashews. They make an excellent snack on their own, but you can also add them to a salad, blend them into a smoothie, or use natural cashew butter or cashew milk, as long as they're free from added sugars or oils. The beauty of cashews is their accessibility. You'll find these in any supermarket's nut aisle, no specialty stores needed. At roughly 30 cents per serving, they're cheaper than prescriptions. Keep a jar on your kitchen counter. Consistent use is key for sustained relief. But cashews aren't acting alone. Next up, a different nut that targets prostate swelling through a unique antioxidant pathway, one that's even easier to add to your morning routine. Let's uncover it together. Nut number 2 is pistachios, a quiet but powerful option that many men overlook. While cashews work beautifully to regulate hormones and reduce prostate swelling, pistachios bring in a completely different set of strengths. They act on both prostate health and male vitality, making them an essential addition to any diet strategy for men after 60. I like to describe pistachios as the understated powerhouse, small, versatile, and surprisingly effective when used consistently. One patient who highlights this well is Mr. Harris, a 71-year-old retiree who came to me struggling with both frequent nighttime urination and growing anxiety over his declining energy levels. He admitted he was skeptical that food could do much for his prostate, especially after his doctor had only ever offered him pills. But his fatigue from constant bathroom interruptions and the emotional strain of feeling less in control of his body left him open to exploring new options. During his first intake, he confessed he hadn't thought about pistachios beyond the occasional snack, but once we laid out the evidence, his interest grew. Pistachios stand out because they deliver 3 targeted nutrients most men lack. First, phytosterols block the hormone DHT, the main instigator of prostate cell growth, like putting a lid on a boiling pot. Second, they're L-arginine converts into nitric oxide, relaxing blood vessels for stronger erections and better urinary flow. Third, they're antioxidants like gamma-tocopherol douse inflammation sparks before they flare into pelvic pain. No man should ignore this triple-action toolkit sitting in the snack aisle. When I suggested pistachios to Mr. Harris, he admitted he wasn't convinced that a nut could make a difference. We set a simple plan: a daily handful of shelled, unsalted pistachios, around 28 to 30 grams, or roughly 49 kernels. I told him to enjoy them as an afternoon snack, mix them into yogurt, or add them to salads. He found the routine surprisingly easy to keep up with. Within 2 months, his results spoke for themselves. His PSA levels had decreased slightly, which encouraged him, but the bigger difference came in daily life. He reported fewer trips to the bathroom at night, less pelvic pressure, and, most exciting for him, an improvement in his energy and sexual confidence. He even said his wife noticed a change in his mood, which meant more to him than any lab number. For best results, pistachios should be fresh, unsalted, and stored in airtight containers to keep their delicate fats from going rancid. They are affordable, widely available, and convenient to add into most diets without fuss. The key is regularity. Small amounts every day are more effective than large amounts on occasion. What pistachios represent is more than just fixing a problem. They highlight the shift from reactive care to proactive resilience. By making small, deliberate choices like this, you're not only easing current symptoms, but also protecting your prostate and vascular health for the years ahead. Nutrition like this gives you control, something standard care often leaves out of the conversation. Mr. Harris still emails me every few months, proudly reporting that pistachios remain part of his daily routine. He sees them not as a remedy, but as a tool for maintaining his independence and vitality, which is exactly how I want men to approach this kind of nutritional strategy. Ready for nut number 3? It's an unexpected nut that focuses on deep cellular protection and metabolic stability. I've seen it restore urinary comfort faster than supplements in some patients. Let's uncover it together next. Nut number 3 brings us to the buttery-rich macadamia, far more than a luxury snack. These nuts serve as multi-system supporters, uniquely equipped to tackle prostate swelling while boosting overall vitality. I recall Mr. Daniels, a 69-year-old whose visits to my clinic was prompted by an enlarged prostate that was causing frequent urgency and disrupted sleep. Beyond his urinary concerns, he also complained of constant fatigue and rising cholesterol levels flagged during his last checkup. During intake, I noticed he also showed signs of mild metabolic imbalance, including increased waist circumference and higher blood pressure. These overlapping issues pointed to a need for a food-based strategy that would work on several systems at once, not just the prostate in isolation. That's where macadamia nuts fit perfectly. Clinically, I recommend them because they fill a critical gap, delivering the highest monounsaturated fat, MUFA, content of any nut. This is important because MUFAs act like deep conditioning therapy for your cells. They reduce system-wide inflammation that fuels prostate swelling while improving blood vessel flexibility for better urinary flow and erectile function. Macadamias also pack tocotrienols, a rare form of vitamin E that helps abnormal prostate cells self-destruct. Think of them as a 3-in-1 toolkit, calming pelvic inflammation, protecting your heart, and guarding cellular health. The beauty of macadamias is that they rarely act in isolation. When you eat them, you're not just calming prostate swelling, you're improving cholesterol, stabilizing blood sugar, and feeding your body antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress everywhere. That matters because men rarely suffer prostate issues without other metabolic challenges alongside them. A food like macadamia nuts helps correct several imbalances at once, which is why I encourage their use in my male patients over 60. For men like Mr. Daniels, the results became clear within about 6 weeks. He reported fewer nighttime interruptions, less pelvic heaviness, and a sense of improved stamina during the day. His follow-up labs showed modest reductions in cholesterol, which gave him added motivation to continue. The psychological lift he described from finally sleeping through the night was as valuable as the measurable improvements. Practical use is straightforward. A serving of about 1 ounce or 10 to 12 whole nuts daily is enough to deliver benefits. Raw or dry roasted macadamias are best, avoiding heavy salt or added oils. For those who find chewing difficult or who prefer variety, macadamia nut butter or macadamia oil are excellent alternatives, as long as they're minimally processed. Quality matters, so look for fresh nuts stored in airtight containers, ideally kept cool to preserve their delicate fats. The clinical rationale is simple. Macadamias act as a multi-purpose food. With consistent, modest intake, they improve urinary health, cardiovascular stability, and overall resilience. For men in their 60s and beyond, that kind of broad support is exactly what sustains vitality and independence. Now, let's explore our fourth nut, a nut with a sharper, more distinctive nutrient profile, one that targets cellular energy production while moderating inflammation through a completely different biochemical pathway. Nut number 4 is the humble hazelnut, a personal favorite I've seen support men's health across decades. These nuts aren't just nostalgic treats. They're time-tested allies for prostate comfort and vitality. I still remember my grandfather in Bavaria gathering wild hazelnuts each autumn. At 92, he credited his daily handful for keeping him active in his woodshop, free from the urinary struggles many of his peers faced. Back then, we didn't understand the science. We just saw the results. Now, my clinical work confirms what tradition hinted. Hazelnuts quietly but powerfully protect prostate function. Hazelnuts work as multi-system defenders. Their phytosterols, especially beta-sitosterol, act like microscopic shields, blocking the DHT hormone that swells prostate tissue. This directly eases urinary flow and reduces that frustrating can-empty feeling. Meanwhile, their vitamin E serves as a cellular bodyguard, neutralizing inflammation sparks before they damage prostate tissue. Add magnesium and copper as repair technicians, fixing stress cells in your urinary tract. Together, These nutrients make hazelnuts a holistic tool for pelvic comfort and overall resilience. One of my patients, Mr. Klein, age 73, arrived at my clinic with persistent complaints of pelvic heaviness, difficulty starting urination, and interrupted sleep from waking multiple times at night. His baseline assessment confirmed enlarged prostate with moderate lower urinary tract symptoms. We introduced hazelnuts into his diet at a serving of about 20 nuts per day, alongside other adjustments. Within 2 months, he reported fewer nighttime interruptions, stronger flow, and a calmer emotional state from finally regaining control of his body. His outcome illustrates how small, consistent dietary changes can restore dignity and confidence. For best results, I recommend you consume them raw or lightly roasted, about 1 to 1.5 ounces daily, which is roughly 20 to 25 nuts. They can be eaten whole, blended into smoothies, or used as hazelnut butter or oil. Hazelnut flour is another option for those who enjoy baking. Because they are energy-dense, portion control is important, but their versatility makes them easy to enjoy in many forms. Storing them in airtight containers away from heat and light preserves their delicate oils and prevents rancidity. Those with tree nut allergies should avoid them entirely, but for others, they offer excellent nutrient delivery in a small volume. The real value lies in consistency. Eating hazelnuts once in a while won't deliver much change, but a modest daily habit compounds into meaningful improvements over months and years. This is the kind of routine shift that feels manageable, yet carries a profound, long-term payoff. When patients stay consistent, they not only report better urinary comfort, but also improvements in mood, energy, and cardiovascular stability, all areas connected by hazelnut's combination of vitamin E, lignans, and phytosterols. Now, let's reveal our fifth and final nut, a buttery favorite already in many pantries. It uniquely tackles prostate swelling through a rare fatty acid that calms pelvic nerves. You might be snacking on it right now without realizing its power. Let's talk about it next. Nut number 5 brings us to pine nuts, often dismissed as fancy garnishes, but packing serious prostate-protecting power. These tiny kernels deserve a permanent spot in your pantry, not just holiday recipes. I think of Stephen, a 66-year-old former airline pilot who had been managing mild but persistent prostate enlargement for years. His main frustrations were frequent daytime urges, a sense of incomplete emptying, and a dip in sexual energy that he put down to just getting on a bit. When I suggested incorporating pine nuts into his daily meals, he looked at me with polite disbelief, certain that such a small, gourmet-looking nut couldn't possibly influence his urinary symptoms. That skepticism shifted once I explained the targeted nutrient profile they carry. Pine nuts deliver a unique 1-2 punch for prostate health. First, their beta-sitosterol acts like a master switch, blocking the DHT hormone that triggers prostate swelling. This directly eases urinary flow and reduces the gotta-go-now pressure. Second, their pinolenic acid, a rare omega-6, soothes pelvic inflammation while helping manage weight, a key factor since extra pounds strain the prostate. Add magnesium and zinc for cellular repair and hormone balance, and you've got a comprehensive defense team. Stephen agreed to replace his mid-morning biscuit with a small handful of raw pine nuts and occasionally drizzle salads with cold-pressed pine nut oil. Within 2 weeks, he noticed less pelvic pressure. By the end of the first month, he reported fewer urgent trips to the bathroom and a stronger, more continuous stream. The knock-on effect on his confidence was immediate. He said he felt like someone had quietly dialed back the clock on my plumbing, and his partner noticed the improvement in his energy and intimacy. A practical serving for prostate benefit is around 20 to 30 grams a day, eaten raw or lightly toasted to preserve delicate oils and micronutrients. Pine nut oil is an effective alternative or complement, especially for those looking for a concentrated sterile intake without eating extra volume. They store best in airtight containers in the refrigerator or freezer to protect against rancidity. While rare, some people experience a temporary metallic taste known as pine mouth after consuming certain pine nut varieties, but it passes within a few days and isn't harmful. Pine nuts fit seamlessly into a broader dietary approach to prostate and male health. Paired with other nutrient-dense nuts, plenty of vegetables, and lean protein sources, they help build a steady foundation for lower inflammation, balanced hormones, and stable urinary function. Stephen has continued with his pine nut habit for over a year now, reporting that his urinary comfort has held steady, his energy has improved, and he enjoys the ritual of preparing something that feels both enjoyable and purposeful. For many men, it's a small, pleasant adjustment with the potential to deliver long-term dividends in comfort, function, and vitality, proving that even the smallest foods can play a big role in how well you live. Seniors, you've just discovered 5 powerful nuts that actively shrink prostate swelling, improve urinary flow, and support vitality after 60. But knowledge alone won't change your health. Consistent action will. Let's transform this science into simple, sustainable steps you can start tomorrow. If you're still watching, you're clearly serious about finding natural solutions. That's half the battle won. Now, let's convert that intention into real progress. Today, I want you to pick just 2 nuts from our list, cashews and pistachios. They're your fastest-acting duo for reducing nighttime bathroom trips and improving flow. Cashews relax prostate muscles quickly, while pistachios tackle inflammation and blood flow. Grab these raw and unsalted on your next grocery run. Today, if possible. Waiting lets old habits creep back. When you shop, quality matters. Choose raw or lightly roasted nuts without coatings, added sugar, or excess salt. The flavored versions lining supermarket shelves may taste tempting, but the sodium and additives can undo much of the benefit. Treat nuts as a health food, not candy. Once you bring them home, keep them fresh. Store them in airtight containers. And for oil-rich nuts like macadamias and pine nuts, keep them in the refrigerator or freezer to protect their delicate oils from turning rancid. The next step is to design a habit that fits seamlessly into your day. Decide exactly when and how you'll eat them. Perhaps you'll have pistachios with your mid-morning tea, cashews alongside your lunch salad, or hazelnuts as your evening snack. The secret is to attach the new habit to something you already do. If you always have tea in the morning, place your nuts beside the kettle. Specific decisions create follow-through. And remember, portion control is key. 1 ounce a day, about a small handful, is enough to give your body the nutrients it needs without overloading calories. What matters most is steady supply, not large amounts. To keep yourself motivated, track your progress with a simple journal. Each day, note your energy levels, the number of times you wake at night to use the bathroom, your mood, your urinary stream strength, and any other symptoms you notice. These small notes make a big difference. My patients who track their progress often notice improvements earlier and feel encouraged to stay consistent. For example, one gentleman began seeing a stronger stream and fewer nightly interruptions after just 3 weeks, something he might have overlooked without writing it down. Expect changes to come gradually. Some men notice relief within days, while for others it takes weeks. Consistency is the key. This isn't a magic pill. It's a steady partnership with your body. Start small. 1 handful a day is enough to move the needle in the right direction. Don't try to do everything at once. Precision matters, so avoid salted or coated varieties and stick with modest, regular portions. To close, let's quickly revisit the 5 nuts that make up this plan. Cashews with their zinc and magnesium, pistachios for circulation and urinary flow, macadamia nuts for healthy fats, hazelnuts for antioxidants and phytosterols, and pine nuts for hormonal balance and energy. These are science-backed foods with proven results. I've seen men sleep through the night again, travel without the constant worry of bathroom stops, and regain confidence in their bodies. These results didn't come from shortcuts, but from daily choices that built on each other. You are now at the threshold of a healthier, more comfortable, more confident chapter. The decision to begin is entirely in your hands. Start small, stay consistent, and trust that your body will respond. Every measured handful you choose is a step toward reclaiming control over your well-being, and the power to make that choice rests with you right now.